Good morning, students. Amanjit here, your history teacher. Today we are going to start the next chapter, that is Jainism and Buddhism. So we will learn two main religions in this chapter. One is Jainism and another one is Buddhism. Both emerged in 6th century BC. The founder of Jainism is known as Mahavira, and the founder of Buddhism is known as Gautam Buddha. So if we saw the world history, number of thinkers emerged during that time. One of them is Zoroaster, another one is Confucius. So number of sources available here which provide us information related to Jainism and Buddhism. First is Angs. So Jain scriptures are popularly known as Agams. Agams, that is what comes out from the mouth of Lord, that's known as Agam. So during that time, whatever taught by Lord Mahavira, that compiled by his disciples into 12 parts. How many parts? 12 parts, and that 12 parts known as 12 Angs. Clear? So two names written by me, two Angs name written by me. One is Bhagavati Sutra, another one is Acharanga Sutra. So later the Jain doctrines expounds in a comprehensive manner, and it compiled into 12 auxiliary works that come to be known as Upangs. So both Angs and Upangs during that time passed to their disciples in oral forms, not in written forms. Clear? So they discuss what they discuss, what given under this Angs. They discuss the religious rites, religious rituals, stages of householder life. Next, what they discuss in Angs, vows of chastity. Vows means the resolution related to purity, rules of conducts, and other features of the Jain philosophy discussed in this Angs in 12 parts and 12 auxiliary works, Angs and Upangs. So next is Tripitkas. Next sources of information is Tripitkas. Tripitka means three baskets. Okay, three baskets like the Vinaya Pitaka, Sut Pitaka, and Abhidham Pitaka. So that three Pitakas known as three baskets in Jain doctrines. Clear? So they provide us valuable information. Most literary important literary work of the Buddhist involved in include in this Tripitkas. Clear? So these three baskets, how they written, in which language? Written in Pali language. Clear? So writings, earlier the writings of these texts were taken on long narrow leaves, sewed together on one side and bound in bunches, then stored in baskets. Therefore they were known as three baskets. Okay? That was the reason behind to so called three baskets. Clear? So which type of information given in the Pitakas in three basket? First is Vinaya Pitaka, rules and regulations given there. Sut Pitakas, discourses of Buddhas on various occasions. The main part is Dhampada. Dhampada is the main component in which teachings of Buddha given. And last is with Abhidham Pitaka, in which Buddhist philosophy given. Clear? So next source of information is Jatakas. Jataka means tales of Buddhist lives. So number of stories related to Buddha's life given in Jatakas, like previous lives of Buddhas, and stories based on the uh, economic, social and political condition of people, that throw light on economic, social and political condition of people during that time, which provide us valuable information related to them. Clear? Next topic is causes for the rise of Jainism and Buddhism. Which causes responsible for the rise of these two religions in India? So under this, first cause is reaction against ritualism. Clear? So what is the meaning of that? Reaction against ritualism? Why reaction? Why religious ceremonies had become very expensive during time and common people could not afford. Clear? So that's why they look for a simple religion. Clear? So that's why these was one of the main important reason which was responsible for the rise of Jainism and Buddhism. Clear? Next is corruption in religion. Corruption crept into religious practice. Like priests during that time were they encourage ordinary people, they encourage peoples to perform yaj and conduct household rites. Clear? And people could not afford because of the expensiveness. So that's why it become one of the reason responsible for the rise of Jainism and Buddhism. Next is rigid caste system. So total four castes were there: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. And person belonged to one caste could not become the member of another caste during that time. So this type of rigidness become one of the cause of the rise of Jainism and Buddhism. Clear? Next cause is difficult language. Sanskrit was considered as a sacred language during that time, and mostly priests chanted mantra in Sanskrit language. So it was very difficult for the common people, ordinary people to understand. So that's why people look for an alternative language which was easy for them. So that's why they follow Jainism and Buddhism, because both religion were adopted Pali language. Next is political situation. So 6th century BC, during that time, Magad was one of the Mahajanpad, and it was ruled by Bimbisar and later by Ajatashatru. So both king were liberal and tolerant. Clear? Both were liberal and tolerant. And when Jainism and Buddhism come in India, it was an opportunity for them, because they condemned social evils practice which was performed by the uh, previous religion. Clear? So that's why political situation also become one of the cause of the rise of Jainism and Buddhism. Next, we will learn about the Jainism religion. So, under the Jainism, Jain doctrine were preached by Acharyas. Acharyas also known as the three Thankras. So, Lord Mahavira was the 24th Thankras, and 23 Thankras preceded Lord Mahavira. Means 23 Acharya preceded Lord Mahavira. So, who was the first? First was the Rishwadev. Clear? So, Lord Mahavira was the 24th Tirthankara as well as the last of the Tirthankara, but he made Jainism popular and systematic. That's why he known as considered as the founder of Jainism. Clear? So, where he born? He born in Kundagram near Vishali in Bihar. His father was the chief of Kshatriya clan, and mother was the princess of Lichvi family. He preached at various centers like Avanti, Khosla, Champa, Vishali, etc. And he made Jainism religion to popularize all over the uh, India. Clear? So teaching of Jainism. Now under the teaching, first one is five vows. Clear? Five vows. He tell to his follower to follow five vows. Five vows. Under five vows, first is ahimsa, means non-violence. Asatya, not stealing. Satya, not telling lie. Apargiraha, not possessing property. Brahmacharya, practicing chastity. Clear? So he tell to his follower to follow all these five vows: non-violence, do not steal, not telling lie, not possessing any kind of property, like that. Clear? So next, under the Jainism, he categorized the violence into three categories. Three type of violence he categorized. First, violence means physical violence like killing, injury. Next, violence in word or harsh language. Clear? Next, third one is mental violence like ill will towards other. So he tell to his follower, do not adopt the non violence. Okay, means three type of violence are there. So he tell to his follower to stop all these type of violence in his life, in their lives. Clear? Next, nine, truth. It have a central place in the philosophy of Jainism. So nine truth was there. One is Jiva, Ajiva, Punya, Pap, Ashrav, Sanvar, Bandh, Nirjana, and Moksha. Jiva means all living things. Ajiv, non-living things. Punya, result of good deeds, good work. Pap, sins. Ashrav, good deeds. Sanvas, obstacles in the way of karam. Bandh, bondage. Nirjana, destruction of karam. And Moksha is salvation. Clear? So he tell to his follower that besides these five vows, try to practice nine truth in their life also. Clear? Next is doctrine of Jainism. Under the doctrine of Jainism, first is Triratan. Clear? So Mahavira preached that the ultimate goal of man is to attain freedom from the worldly bonds. So he tell that worldly world moksha or salvation we can obtain by following the three ratan only, like right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct. Clear? So next doctrine of Jainism was Karam. They believe in the Karam theory of Hinduism. According to that Karam theory, that one should be responsible for one's own Karam or action, good or bad. Whatever the Karam ones do, that person responsible for that deeds. Next is equality. He means Mahavira believed in the equality of man and man as well as man and woman. He preached universal brotherhood, and he considered that all men are equal irrespective of their caste and creed. Eternal soul. He believed in immortality of soul. Immortality of means that according to him, that he said that the body dies but not the soul. And next is salvation, means freedom from the cycle of birth and rebirth. And he told that if one should want salvation or moksha, try to follow three ratans. Clear? Next is spread. It spread over a vast area by the royal patronage. Clear? It spread over Khosla, Magad, Champa. In western part, it patronized by the business community, and in South India, it spread in Karnataka, Odisha, Rajasthan, Gujarat. Clear? So number of causes were there who responsible for the spread of that. Among that, the first cause of the spread of Jainism was local dialect. Local dialect means common language, Prakrit, followed by the Jainism instead of Sanskrit. Clear? As Sanskrit was very difficult for a common people to understand. Clear? So that's why Mahavir adopted the language of the common people, that is Prakrit. Next is royal patronage. Jainism received royal patronage like Chandragupta Maurya patronized Jainism in later year also of his rule, and Rashtrakutas and Chalukya King also spread and as well as patronized Jainism. Kharavila, the ruler of Kalinga, all these kings patronized Jainism in their areas. Next is saint, like Kalkacharya. Because of his efforts, Jainism became the center in Ujjain, and Bhadrabahu, who took over the Jainism in Karnataka. So that all saint also become played a very important role to spread of in the spread of Jainism. Next, last one is appeal to people. Clear? People found the religion attractive as it was based on the austerity, simplicity, and spirituality. So that's why it spread in vast areas. Slowly, Jainism also divided into two parts. One is Shvetambara, another one is Digambra. Shvetambara was led by Sthulabhadra, and Digambra was led by Bhadrabahu. So, because of some of the differences arose between them, because of that reason only, Jainism divided into two sects. And the follower of Shitambras known as white clad, and followers of Digambras known as sky clad. They known as white clad because they mostly wore white clothes, and as well as they try to put they just cover their mouse with the white piece of cloth to avoid germs and insect that might enter into nose while breathing. So just to avoid the violence of killing of insects, only they wore white clothes. And they known as the Gambras known as skyclad because they did not believe in covering the bodies. They thought that because of washing clothes, so many tiny insects, many germs would killed. So that's why they were orthodox follower of Mahavir, and they kept a long fast and led an auspicious life. Clear? So these two facts over there. Next, we will cover the Buddhism. Buddhism, Gautam Buddha was a founder of Buddhism, and he born in Lumbini near Kapilavastu in Nepal. Next, we will learn about the Great Renunciation, and this event also known as a Maha Bhikshkarmana. Clear? Gautam Buddha left his home in search of salvation because of only four sights which he saw in his life. So when he was passing through the town, he saw an old man. Then after that he saw a sick man groaning with pain. Next he saw a dead body, and which was carried by the family members. And at last he saw an ascetic who was searching of salvation. So after that four sides of life he left his home. Clear? And this event is known as Maha Vishkarmana. Clear? After that, at the age of 35, he attained enlightenment at Bodh Gaya in Bihar. Clear? Where he get enlightened? At Bodh Gaya in Bihar. Next is Dharam Chakra Parivartana. Clear? So where he get enlightened, that place means Bodh Gaya. In that place, Mahabodhi temple was constructed. Clear? Because he got enlightened there. And after the enlightenment, he delivered his first sermon in Sarnath near Vaishali. Clear? So this event is known as Maha Chakra Parivartana. Clear? Next we will learn about the teaching of Buddhism. So Gautam Buddha also taught so many things. First he told to his follower to about the four noble truth. So what he said about the noble truth, he said that the world is full of suffering. The suffering has a cause. Desire is the cause of suffering. If suffering is stopped, suffering can also be stopped. And these four noble truths told by him, that the world is full of suffering, suffering has a cause, and the desire is the main cause of all suffering. If we want to stop the desire, suffering can automatically be stopped. Clear? So four way which led to the removal of suffering, that also told by him. He told that try to follow eightfold path. If you want to get rid of these four sufferings, just follow the eightfold path, also known as Ashtangika Marg or middle path. So under the eightfold path, first is right action, right thought, right belief, right living, right speech, right effort, right recollection, and right meditation. Clear? So he told to his follower to follow all these eightfold path. Right action means to remain away from luxuries and violence. Right thought means to remain away from empty rituals. Right belief means to give up desires. Right living means not to have dishonest with others. Right speech means speak the truth. Right efforts means do work for the welfare of other. Right recollection means think about the pious things. Next, right meditation. Right meditation means concentrate only the right. Buddha also formulate the code of conduct for his followers. Among the code of conduct, first is not to tell a lie, not to own property, not to consume alcoholic drink, not to commit violence, not to indulge in any corrupt practice. So he set a code of conduct for his follower also. Next is nirvana. Buddha also believe in nirvana, that is the main goal of life, that by him, that everyone, if we want to get a salvation, try to follow the noble truth and eightfold path. So main purpose of the life is to get salvation. Next is universal brotherhood. He also believe in the universal brotherhood, means believe in the equality of all men and women. Ahimsa. Like Mahavira, Buddha also attained the life of non-violence. Clear? He will believe in ahimsa. Next is non-faith in rituals. That is the last one. And Buddha said that he said that no need to involve in himself into any kind of rituals, empty rituals or ceremonies. Buddhism also divided into two parts. One is Mahayana, another one is Hinayan. Follower of Hinayan denied the existence of God. It shunned the ideal worship and does not believe that Buddha was God. Pali language used by them, and Hinayan spread over India, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, and Cambodia. Next is Mahayana, next sect of Buddhism. The follower of Mahayana believe Buddha was an incarnation of God. They worship the images of Buddha. Sanskrit language used by them, And Mahayana spread into northwestern part of India, Southeast Asian countries, China and Japan. Clear? Next is organization. The organization for teaching of Buddhism came to be known as a Sangh. Sangh means powerful institution. So to become the member of that Sangh, some of the principle uh, led by them and principles, first is membership. Members of the monastic order was called bhikshus means monk, and bhikshunis means nun. And one who want to be the member of a sangha has to renounce the world before joining the sangha. Clear? Next is 10 commandment made by them to become the member, just to lead the disciplined life. 10 commandments were there, 5 written by me, 5 in your book. Just check all the 10 commandments. Clear? Next is vihars. Vihars had separate sections for bhikshus and bhikshunis. So bhikshus and bhikshunis roam one from different areas of the world to spread Buddhism in all over the world. So for to take rest, vihars were made. है ना? So in the vihars, these members led a life of chastity, devotion and purity. Clear? So these were the principles. Now next is impact of Jainism. So number of impacts were there. First is political impact. Mainly Kshatriyas were there who took to this new faith. Okay? New faith of Jainism took by the Kshatriyas mainly. So as a result, they had lost their warlike instincts. Next is social and religious impact. Under the social and religious impact, we can say that they discarded the system of casteism and encourage social services. Next is language. The Jain texts were written in Prakrit language, but at some places the texts were also written in local languages of the people. Clear? So number of texts written in Prakrit language, that was one of the impact. Art and architecture. Number of buildings made by the Jainist, like temples, monasteries, dharamshalas. The famous Dilwara temple made by the Jainist. Next is decline of Jainism. But there was some reasons responsible for the decline of Jainism. Among the reasons, first is Jainism preached rigid austerity, like theory of ahimsa extended even to wearing to clothes. Clear? So that is the main cause which become responsible for not getting popular support. Clear? Next is not spread in foreign countries. It did not have any missionary efforts. Next is not get royal support. Means Buddhism receive a large scale support from Ashoka's Harsh and King Kanishka, but it did not get any kind of royal support. Next is Hinduism again become popular during that time. So because of that reason also, Jainism decline. Clear? Decline, responsible for the decline of Jainism. Clear? Next is impact of Buddhism. Okay, what type of impacts were there? First is ahimsa. It become weapon against the ills in the society. Later Mahatma Gandhi also adopted ahimsa in their freedom struggle. Clear? Now we will learn about the political impact of Buddhism. So Ashoka and Kaniksha made it their state religion. That is the main impact, that Ashok as well as King Kaniksha made Buddhism as their state religion. Next is cultural impact. It spread far and wide in Southeast Asia, China and Sri Lanka, as well as they just share their culture also with the India. Next is language and literature. Pali language was used by the follower of Buddhism. So Tripitkas and Jataka, two main literary work written in Pali language. Architecture. Number of stoops, vihars, rock cut temple, dome-like structure constructed by them. Number of reasons were responsible for the decline of Buddhism also. So among that, first one is split in Buddhism. Clear? As you know that Buddhism divided into two parts, Hinayana and Mahayana. So because of this split, number of changes were there. Okay? And its popularity and prestige suffer because of that division. Clear? So that become one of the cause. Next is language. As you know that Pali language used by the Buddha. But after his death, Sanskrit language also adopted by the followers. Next is corruption in Sangh. As you know that Sangh made in Sangh members like bhikshus and bhikshunis led a disciplined life. But after that, corruptions were there. They started living a luxurious life. Clear? Because of that reason, it declined. Next is invention. Last point, invention. Like a Turkish invention, as Turkish invaders plundered the wealth of monasteries like Nalanda, Takshila. Okay, they forced some of the monks to flee to neighbor countries like Nepal and Tibet. So because of that reason only, that decline of Buddhism was there. Clear? So hope so the whole chapter understood by you. Now similarities and dissimilarities of Jainism and Buddhism given in your book. Few of points explanation already given by me. Just take one reading of similarities and dissimilarities also. Thank you.